Welcome everybody to this White Tiger Qigong Live Q&A session, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about 8 trigram organ Qigong today. It's lovely to have so many people here. So this course is a mastery and teacher training course. It actually starts next week. We kick off on the 8th of November. So I'm getting very excited because I always love having a new cohort to teach these incredible practices to. These practices are really meticulously crafted. They blend ancient Qigong with cutting edge sports science and neuroscience. So we have a wonderful fusion of the ancient practice with a modern approach and understanding of what this Qigong is actually doing physically, physiologically, within our systems to help us to improve our health and well-being. So it's a really holistic learning and growth experience. And our mission is really to empower each and every one of you to unlock your full physical and emotional potential. So I'll begin by introducing myself, and then we'll go over some of the key aspects of the course, and we'll finally open up to your questions. Let me also just say a very warm welcome to some of our past and current students who I can see are here today. Some of you I know quite well, and also to those who we've not met yet but hope will be joining us very soon. So my name is Sarah Devine. I'm a senior White Tiger Qigong instructor, and what that means basically is I've been kicking around for a few years. I became involved with White Tiger Qigong over 7 years ago. I was already an instructor in a different system of Qigong, and I'd been practicing personally for about 20 years prior to becoming a teacher. And when I first saw Master Tevye at the Dao Garden in Chiang Mai where he was teaching, I was just really struck by his energy. I didn't even speak to the man. I just saw him from a distance. I just thought, wow, I wonder what he does. He was obviously, extremely skilled in his craft. And I did a little bit of research about White Tiger Qigong and decided that it was something I really wanted to participate in, because I had been looking for a way to not only to improve my own health and well-being, but also having lost loved ones way too early, I think, to illnesses that could perhaps have been ameliorated or prevented. I wanted to teach as many people as possible a way in which they could look after themselves and give themselves the best chance to have a long and healthy life. And so Qigong came into my radar, and after my mother died, I thought, yeah, that's it. I really want to become an instructor to see if I can bring this practice to as many people as possible to really help their health and well-being. So that's how I ended up becoming an instructor. And I worked with Tevye. I've worked with him now. I did 4 trainings as a student. I've worked in live trainings with him as an assistant in Vietnam and in Thailand 5 times, and I've also been working online for the last 3 years since we put our platform online as an assistant as well. So have a very, very developed understanding of the practice and the school. So hopefully I'll be able to answer all your questions today. So let's talk about the key aspects of the course. And I know some of you have already trained in or are training in some of our other teacher trainings, like the 5 element. I know some of you are doing at the moment. So what differentiates the 8 trigram teacher training from other Qigong training programs? Well, firstly, in terms of, let's say, other Qigong training programs that are outside of our palette of offerings, so other schools, we haven't found anyone thus far that's actually fusing the delivery of the ancient technique with the modern sports science approach. So we've actually collaborated with education experts, with neuroscientists and sports science professionals to create a curriculum that not only imparts the Qigong knowledge, the traditional Qigong knowledge, but also a contemporary understanding of human physiology and movement. And just as an aside, I got so excited by the way that Tevye was teaching in this regard that I actually studied a master's degree in sport and exercise science. So that's something I also bring to the table. And I researched how Qigong can help develop what we call interoceptive awareness. So this sense of your internal landscape, your emotions, your thoughts, your body signals, how they come up and how you interpret them as well. So that was in the field of exercise psychology, and still continues to fascinate me. So anyway, this approach, this fusion, really helps us to develop a more profound understanding of how the qi, or the energy of the qigong, the gong being the work. So we're working with our energy to circulate it around the body, to store it in the body as well. It helps us to develop a deeper understanding of how this comes about, and also a deeper connection not only to ourselves, our inner selves, but also to the natural world. So there's a real focus on the, we'd say, as within so without, or as without so within, on this connection, this profound connection to universal forces and principles of nature. So that's a really deep part of this Qigong. Going into the structure of the masterclass of the 8 Trigram Teacher Training, Mastery and Teacher Training, we work on the principle of 5 pillars of mastery. So the first level takes you through the body, and this is basically what is the movement, what are the physical mechanics of the forms themselves. The second is breath, where we integrate an understanding of how, not only actually the breath in this, but how we work how the body works biomechanically. So this means how the energy moves through the body through utilization of breath and other mechanical aspects that we investigate for each form. And this really helps us to start to feel the qi flowing in the body. The third level is spirit, and with spirit we harmonize the body and the breath with our intention. So this is an extremely important part of our practice, how you place your intention, and also how you understand the spirit of the form itself. So the 8 Trigram, I should have mentioned at the beginning, is a flowing practice. It's a continuous flowing movement of these 8 forms. It belongs to the water dragon, and the water dragon imagery for this practice is one of undulation, like a dragon, of that feeling of how water flows. And so we tap very deeply into this spirit aspect of the movement. We go then into prescription in level 4, and prescription means it's quite basic, but it gives us an understanding of what we call the medical side. Now I know that in today's world we have to be a little bit careful about using the term medical, but the medical Qigong aspect is the understanding of how you can prescriptively adjust your practice. You can adjust the breathing techniques, you can adjust the tempo, you can adjust the depth of your stance, you can adjust the intensity or degree to which you coil and uncoil the body. There's a lot of twisting movements in this practice, so we adjust that intensity, we adjust the time of day, the number of repetitions. There's a lot to unpack there. So with that knowledge, we can help ourselves, first of all, to become healthier, and we can also then eventually work with our students in a way that will benefit them if they have particular needs or ailments. Of course, we can never diagnose unless we're already authorized to do so as a Chinese medicine doctor, for instance. But you could work alongside a Chinese medicine doctor. You could have some kind of interaction with a Chinese medicine doctor and an understanding of whether there's an excess or a deficiency in a person, and prescribe the Qigong accordingly to that. So that's a whole other level I can't go into in too much depth, but it's certainly very exciting when we get to learn about that. Then level 5 is teacher training. So in teacher training, you're given these skills with which to go out and teach. So we have a particular methodology. We worked very intensively with a gentleman who's got a master's degree in education from Harvard. So we've really looked at the best methodology that we can provide for teaching this Qigong. And I know some of you have already been exposed to that. So one of the things that you'll do in that level is you'll practice with making little videos that probably I will watch of a mock class or a practice class, and you'll get to try out this approach for yourself. So that's pretty exciting when you get to that level. Now coming on to the support and resources that we offer. So during the course, there's an array of resources. There are detailed instructional videos, there's comprehensive manuals, there's continuous support through our online platforms. You'll have a weekly masterclass that currently is scheduled at 3:30 p.m. I think it is Vietnam time. So I know that makes it untenable for most people in the US to watch it. So it's unfortunately in the middle of the night. Where possible, we do offer an alternative at a different time. I'm not sure yet what time that's going to be, but you'll have to log on to double check for the second class. That would be with one of the senior instructors or an instructor in training, a senior instructor in training. So the other thing that you can do is join an instructor support group. Now, some people here I've already worked with in those groups. Perhaps they can attest to the efficacy of being involved in a weekly instructor support group. It helps you to be accountable. You get to send in videos weekly of the forms that we're working on at the level we're working at. You get to have a personal relationship with an instructor, and as questions do come up, it's a really useful tool to have. And it's actually really we've kept the cost down, so it's I think it's highly affordable. It's $30 a week for that support. So you can contact info@whitetigerqigong.com to sign on for that. I highly recommend it. Now, once you've completed the course, you're naturally part of the global community, and you can continue to interact with fellow instructors. You can attend webinars, you have access to updated resources as they come out. There's even a possibility to sign up for business support to help to set up and grow your Qigong practice. You can have one-on-one coaching sessions with the senior instructors or with Tevia. And you can also join the masterclass, the monthly masterclass, which is with Master Tevye. So just to clarify how 8 Trigram Organ Qigong will help to contribute to your personal growth and your professional growth. I mean, I can attest to it personally. It's really a life transforming journey. It's not just a learning experience if you keep up the practice. So that's the thing. It's not something you can just learn and put in the closet and pull out every now and then. It won't work as a teacher. It won't work really as a personal practice. It has to be something that you integrate on a regular basis. And when I say regular, you may get really bitten by the bullet like I was, and integrate it into your practices daily so it becomes indispensable. But even if you're doing the practice 3 or 4 times a week, you're still going to have a considerable benefit. So for the teacher training, we recommend that you do practice at least 4 times a week. So professionally, once you've qualified, you get a recognized certification that you can then use to teach in wherever you're living. You're learning from the best in the field. You're becoming part of a worldwide community, and on a personal level, you're promoting your physical health, your emotional balance. That's a really big part of the Qigong, that we become much more centered, much more balanced, much more mental acuity. I mean, that's what I've really noticed. I'm much more able to manage new tasks, be less I think anxiety is a big one for a lot of people, especially in today's uncertain world. So to be less anxious, to find enthusiasm, it's a lot easier since I've been practicing Qigong. There's a potential for your personal spiritual awakening as well. So, which is a very individual journey, but the philosophy of the Tao, of Taoism, is a very key part of this course, and that's something that's really helped me to develop along that path. And this all aligns with White Tiger's mission to help individuals unlock their full potential as well. So I'd like to also mention that the course is flexible. So for people with busy schedules, you may not be able to keep up with the 15-week program. So we offer it on a weekly basis with the live classes. We've structured it so you can follow it over a 15-week period. And at the end of that 15 weeks, you may be ready to test for your teacher training certification. My honest experience is a lot of people aren't, because you need more time. Because of life, just happening around you. So that will take. So we give you the time that you need over the subsequent year to prepare yourself for certification. So there's no stress there to be ready at the end of the 15 weeks. That being said, it's another useful accountability tool to still join in, even if you're a little bit behind with the theory and the physical practice itself. So anyway, you can self-pace in each learning module. You can access it wherever you are, of course, at any time, and that means that the learning experience still remains comprehensive. You have control over it. One really cool thing we're offering today, today if you're stateside, and tomorrow, I'm already in the 2nd of November, so but I think most of you probably joining today are in the 1st of November. So if you're over in Australia or New Zealand, this offer still applies to you on the 2nd of November. You will, if you sign up today, you'll get a free coaching session with Master Tevye that's worth $300. So that is just a one-time offer. For our students who have participated in a previous teacher training, there's also a discount for you if you sign up for this course. So contact Michaela about that. I wasn't able to verify how much that was beforehand. I believe it's $100. It's possibly $200, but I'm not sure. So I apologize for that, but I will clarify that and I can let you know personally, because I know who you are on this course, on this call, sorry. So I think I've talked long enough. I'd like to open up to you guys and once again apologize for not being able to enter this meeting as the administrator of the meeting, but rather as a participant. So I have no control over your microphone. So you'll have to unmute yourselves to hit me with your questions, or you can type into the chat. I'm happy for you to do that as well. So let's kick off. And I have a question here from Jen. She's got to run. Sorry. Okay, no worries, Jen. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Carolina. Hi. Or Carolina.
Hi. Oh, it's Carolina. No,
Carolina.
You're absolutely right. I actually did the 5-element training last year.
Oh, awesome.
So joined that at times when I was able to. So thank you for all of your guidance through that.
Pleasure.
And I've been practicing very consistently for the past year. I kind of have a bit of an odd question. I oftentimes practice outside. I live in New York City. I get people asking me what I'm doing, and I was wondering if there are any plans to offer clothing by White Tiger Qigong, like branded t-shirts or sweatshirts or anything like that. I just wanted to put it out there. Yeah, like I would love to be able to wear it and kind of not so often be interrupted in my practice.
Yeah.
Because you get how it is.
Oh, so yeah, it's happened to me before. Yeah.
Yes.
I've had people come and start filming me, and I'm like, I don't want to break my practice, but you really ought to ask for permission.
To balance it, but I don't want to derail the Q&A, but just wanted to put it out there if there were any plans to do that, and if those items were available, like if we could purchase them.
Sure. Actually, I think many people would be interested in that especially once they're teaching. We have got we're working on that clothing store now for the website. So we've got really, really nice pants. They're a linen rayon blend. We've got a wrap over top with the logo, and I believe we're going to be selling the t-shirts as well. So that's coming early next year. And I've already worn the pants, and Tevye gave me a pair when I was on the recent teacher training, and they're very nice. They feel really lovely and cool and flowing. So I think you'll really enjoy those, Carolina.
Thank you so much. I will check them out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Bishan, please unmute. You've got a question next.
Yeah, so I have chronic pain, and I've been working with another Qigong practitioner who had taught me their variation of 5 elements, and I have purchased the 8 Trigram online course, as well as the 5 elements from White Tiger. The way that they kind of explained it to me is like a combination of mental resistance of current life circumstances, etc., releasing those in combination with, like he explained to me that, the 5 elements would balance each of the 5 elements, and you're storing this energy in your lower dantian and circulating it throughout your body, and that should alleviate the pain, and I could be able to go back to working out. It kind of didn't work out that way because I don't know if it was because I was not consistent enough or etc. And then I started the 8 Trigrams, and I'm kind of just starting out. And I noticed a lot of similarities, right, where you're kind of opening up these meridians to allow the energy to flow through them, and there's the fascia and how it's aligned. So I see all of that, and it aligns with this other practice that I checked out, which is like clinical somatics from Thomas Hanna. I don't know if you're familiar, but the same it uses very similar meridian lines and does dynamic stretching the same way that the 8 trigrams does. So I was like, okay, well, these are both aligned, and it's very, very similar. Because I've got a foot pain, and so my gait is off. So like my goal is to walk normally again. And I guess I'm blocked from getting back to my goals because of I don't know if I'm like, there's the Western side of getting out of pain where they don't even regard qigong practice at all, right? And
yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're training you that the pain is in your brain. So I guess my question to you is, what's the difference between the 8 trigrams and the 5 elements is one question.
Okay.
And the second question is based off of what I told you. Do you know where my block is? Like, why am I know it's possible to get back to a pain-free body.
Yeah, and unfortunately I can't answer that question on this Q&A. I mean, we'd have to work personally together and have to understand your circumstances and your condition, and I also would need to know what your healthcare professionals had said. So there's a lot to unpack there that unfortunately I can't go into. But let me address the first question and then come into why 8 trigram in a general way is helpful for lower back pain and for realigning the body. So the 5 element qigong is works on the principle of deeply wringing out the targeted organs. So the 5 major organs in the system, in Chinese medicine, the yin organs, we work with deeply wringing them out, and each of the poses, each of the forms reaches a peak. So it's if we could call it a staccato practice in a way when we're comparing it to 8 trigrams. So we reach a peak of movement where we're holding the qi, where we're holding the energetic of the body, such that when we release, we're bringing in profound rush of fresh qi, fresh blood, fresh oxygen into the organ, and also into the meridian systems that we're the targeted ones for each form. So it's more intense. I think it's in terms of internal strengthening, but 8 trigrams still works on the principle of organ massage, but because it's a continuous flowing practice, the qi starts to move through the body in quite a different way. So the you'll find that the 8 trigram set kind of opens up everything in the body all at the same time. So the energy or the energetic of that is quite different. In terms of how it works with the spine, it's intensely useful for spinal issues because we work with the spine in just about every possible way you can. We're wringing out, we're flexing, we're bowing, we're using every different plane of motion with the spine, and we're working at really deep levels. So we're working with the intrinsic muscles as well as the fascia. I mean, of course, the fascia plays a huge role in how the energy transmits through the body in the practice, but we're working at a very micro level. So we might start with a very, very, very small movement, for instance, in the wave, where we're just literally conditioning the spine to flex and extend, and to start to pump the cerebrospinal fluid up through the body, to start to open up the governing channel at the back of the body, the functional channel at the front, to prepare us, for later stages where we might be able to move more deeply in the practice. And also it has a knock-on effect into other Naidan practices of, for instance, the microcosmic orbit, which we don't go into in this course. So Tevye used this wave movement to heal himself from a very bad injury from a car crash. So that's, you know, anecdotally something that you know, has shown that you know, you can make significant improvements from a situation of pain. I had a slip disc many years ago, L5, and I believe, you know, from this continuous practice or continual practice of Qigong, including the 8 trigram, that it's really helped to strengthen me at such a deep level that my structural integrity has greatly improved. And that's the other thing, that with this Qigong, your structural integrity improves such that if you are experiencing, you said you have foot pain, we're working on strengthening the tendons and you know, getting more elastic response in our movement, so that we start to adjust how we move in our functional activities, and your weight placement, for instance, that may alter through your practice. The whole carriage of your body, the way your fascia is connected in slings, you'll start to be more aware of that, and therefore you'll start to adopt superior movement habits. So that's the best I can offer you without knowing you, Bishan, and knowing the specifics. Does that answer your question for now?
Yeah, the 5 elements versus the 8 trigrams, like I see that they're kind of both valuable in their own respect, like you said. You know, one kind of reaches that
Yeah.
note.
Thank you. Let me yeah, I'll move on to another question. If you have another question that comes up related to that, I'd be happy to answer it. So I've got Jennifer asking if I can elaborate on the certification process. Certainly. When you have completed the level 5 component of the course, the certification process requires you to submit a video of your forms. So you'll have access to a portal, you'll submit the video, you'll also submit an essay, which is it's basically about how you're going to integrate this particular Qigong in a teaching context, and we encourage you to pick a niche. So maybe it's, I don't know, Qigong for desk jockeys, Qigong, 8 trigram Qigong for, we have some people who are working with ice hockey players, with singers, with people with you know, back pain, generic back pain. So there's sort of many approaches that you can take. We also we do have a set of rubrics. She's asking whether we have rubrics. So that this is basically means it's pictures of the forms at each stage of the movement, with a written summary of how that stage should be executed, what it should look like, and we provide those to you so that when you're ready to submit your video, before you submit, you can actually check off against the rubrics to ensure that you've achieved sufficient level of competency in the practice. And you also submit those so that we can see you've checked the rubric, but that you've also informed us about anything we need to know about. Maybe you have an injury that means, like, you know, I can't bend this little finger, so when I do Tiger in 5 element, I can't bend it, or you notice that you move slightly differently one side than the other. So we're not looking for absolute perfection. What we're looking for is an understanding of all the principles that we've taught you, and that we can see that your energy is flowing through your body and that you are grounded and connected. So that's you know, what we're looking for. We also get you to submit several photos that show you standing in the standing meditation posture as well. So those are all the components of the certification process. But you will have also prior to that submitted the teaching practice videos. So that's the stage before getting to the certification. Thank you for that, Jennifer. Let me see if there's any more questions come in on the chat. No, not at this stage. So does anyone else have anything they'd like to ask? So let me reiterate that if you would like to sign up, and you do sign up today in the States, in Canada, in South America, on that side of the planet, or if you're on my side of the planet, Australia, New Zealand, or anywhere in Asia already, it's 2nd of November, you will get a free session with Master Tevye. So I've got a question here. Why don't you offer full 15 weeks on site? Yeah, I agree. Online seminars cannot substitute the traditional method of teaching. It would be absolutely, in an ideal world, I would love, Norman, to go on retreat for 15 weeks. That would be fantastic. It just doesn't fit for most people's lifestyles these days, and certainly not for our teachers either. So for Master Tevye, I think it would be untenable to retreat for that length of time. So we do offer the 2-week program currently in Vietnam. There's several planned for next year. I don't have those dates yet, but that's what we can, the best we can offer at the moment. So we have that immersion into the practice, and then the teacher training is completed. The rest of the course is completed online, and we actually currently, because we had a 5-element and breathwork teacher training in September in Vietnam, we've got a cohort currently finishing the rest of the program online. So yeah, perhaps one day, Norman, I would like that to see that as well, but yeah, unfortunately we're not able to do that at this time. And Mario's off. Thank you, Mario. I'm glad you were able to join us. All right, let's see if there's anyone else that would like to ask a question. So just to clarify, I don't think I mentioned 5 animal Qigong. We have a trinity system of Qigong. Of the 5-element we've already spoken about, we have 8 Trigram organ Qigong, and we also have 5 animal Qigong. And we're planning to offer this later, at a later stage, online. But this is the Qigong that we'll be teaching live next year in Vietnam. We also have a Meridian Qigong course, and also a Breathwork online teacher training currently on offer. So if those are of interest to you, you can watch this space down the track next year for the commencement of those particular courses. So I'll wrap it up now. I really appreciate that you've joined in today, and I hope that you're now a little bit more clued in. Oh, I have another question here from Norman. Why not organise a constant school with different teachers to come and stay, like in Dow Garden? Yes, so that's a project in process at the moment. We would love to have a permanent school where people can come and go. The teachers can swap over, and that's something we're looking into. It does require a lot of resources, as you can imagine, a lot of financial resources as well. So that is certainly on our radar, Norman, and we will keep you posted about any future developments. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have gotten a lot out of this Q&A. It's great to have so many people here, and I look forward to meeting some of you on the course. I won't be able to end the meeting, of course, since I wasn't able to become the administrator, so you'll just have to leave the meeting individually. And don't forget the signing up offer. And also, if you do have any further questions, you can contact info@whitetigerqigong.com. Thank you.